Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Oh my God, this is going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't just affect me and my wife, Leslie. It affects my family. It affects all the students that we had. He can lock us out, which means we'll lose everything and he'll take everything we own.
It's incredible what they're doing to us all. I mean, there's no reason for it whatsoever.
Not only is he not going to be able to evict this gentleman, he's probably going to be on the hook for all the rent this man has paid him over the last few years. So really, he should be treading lightly. But the real reason we came out here today is because this is a problem that's going to be affecting all Canadians, not just him, not just isolated incidents. They're already getting, I've said it before, they're going to put us on another lockdown. Sure enough, yesterday Vancouver already went on lockdown. Hamilton went on lockdown. If you don't think Toronto and the rest are coming next, you got to wake up.
Why don't you open this letter right now and see what it says? David Menzies for Rebel News at the Tiger Dragon Martial Arts Center, and I'm with the co-owners, and that would be Carey and Leslie Stone. They are both multiple degree black belts in karate, and folks, they are in for the fight of their lives. It has nothing to do with a physical fight, but it has everything to do with standing up to bureaucratic tyranny and greed. You've got literally the fight of your life coming up. You have been in business, you were telling me, 16 years. At this location, 7.5 years. You're hardly a startup operation, but of course, more than a year ago, we got struck with the Wuhan virus, and what happened to your studio?
Oh my goodness, it's been devastating, honestly, because we haven't been allowed to work. So we haven't been able to create an income, and I guess it's been hard for everybody, not just us, but it's been very difficult.
And the thing is, Carey, there's no evidence that I've come across that indicates that, you know, gyms, dojos, fitness facilities are super spreader places. I mean, for goodness sakes, we could drive in a 5-kilometer radius of your studio and come across a Walmart or a Costco that's jammed to the rafters. Why is it that in the eyes of the bureaucrats or the chief medical health officers or the mayor that you can't go to a place like this to work out, do your body some good, but it's okay to jam into a big box store and go and shop till you drop?
Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Well, they don't want us to succeed, and I think their plan is to get rid of all small and medium businesses and let the corporations take over the planet, which is what their plan has been all this time.
You know, Leslie, it sometimes feels that way. We were talking off camera. This business, like the gym business, is extraordinarily hard to make a go of it, even when the economy is roaring along. There's all kinds of challenges. You don't want to oversell memberships. You don't want to undersell memberships. And then along comes this virus, and suddenly you're being told by the political elite that we're all in this together, except we're going to stay gainfully employed, but you got to shut your doors.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what they're doing to us all. I mean, there's no reason for it whatsoever. In my view, that we have this big space here, and we could do it, and we could still do the separation, right? And I can't understand why did we do it, right?
And Leslie, I mean, I look around your gym, it is spotless, and because it is small, I would make the argument that unlike the big box stores, having hundreds, even thousands of people coming in on a daily basis, you're much better suited for sanitation, hygiene reasons to keep this clean, right?
I agree 100%. Yeah. It's much easier because we can only have so many people in, and it's easier to maintain.
Folks, I know you've heard so many stories that we brought you of businesses faltering, businesses going out of business, businesses being forced out of business, such as Adam Skelly at Adamson Barbecue. I believe that's where we first met on that dramatic day, Carey. But here's where this story takes a horrible turn for the worse. Because of these extraordinary circumstances, Carey, you and your wife Leslie are living in this studio as well. And you recently got a call from the landlord. And what was the nature of that call?
Well, it started off as most calls with my landlord, and I've tried to be very nice with him and not push things. He was calling to complain about the fact that the gas bill was $340 some odd last month. Now, since we made a new lease, it's my second lease. We were here 5 years. I made another lease, and he's been having to pay the gas. That was the new condition on the lease. So he was whining to me and saying so much of what I'm paying him right now, which is out of my pocket, by the way, because I'm not getting any assistance. He's saying most of that's going towards paying the gas bill. And I just have had enough. And so it went a little further, and he got the gas guy on the phone because I told him what was actually causing it to be so high. Number one, the gas prices have gone up exponentially the past year and a half. And number two, the way that these new units were installed, because he did finally put new units, HVACs on the roof, they are not to code and they are not installed properly. So he got the heating guy, the guy who installed them and bought them, what have you, on the phone to me. And the guy started playing with me, as he's done in the past, and asked me if I'm keeping the fan on all the time. Now, first of all, that wouldn't use any gas, would it? The fan is the fan. That uses electricity, which I pay for. And I've been abused by him before, and he accused me of tampering with his machinery, so I wasn't having it. So I said, what do you think, I'm stupid? No, the fan's not on. And then my landlord attacked me and started screaming at me and telling me, you don't talk to him like that. Who the do you think you are? Blah, blah, blah. And it pushed my buttons, and I've been very calm all these years, and I've put up with his crap, and I wasn't putting up with it anymore. So I exploded, and I yelled over both of them, and I told him exactly what I felt. And before he hung up, he said, that's it. I want you out by the end of the month. I'll get the paperwork done, and you get the F out of my place as soon as you can. And that was the end of that conversation.
So you had this argument, it reached a boiling point. He is now kicking you out. But, Carey and Leslie, what breaks my heart is that this is not all about the loss of your studio. Because you live here, this is actually going to leave you homeless.
Well, we've lost everything once before, and that's another story. So I'm prepared to lose it again, win, lose, or draw. At this point, I really don't care anymore, because I'm not going to tuck my tail between my legs ever again. I'm not going to be bullied by a monster who's a multi-millionaire.
Well, I have to say, I'm not necessarily someone who's anti-landlord. A lot of landlords, they rent out their premises because they're paying a mortgage too. But in the case of this particular landlord, who we will reach out to in the interest of fair comment, of course, as you said, he's a multi-millionaire. He is supposedly not on hard times anytime soon. So it's not as though this is make or break for him shutting down your studio. But Leslie, if he does get his way in the days and weeks ahead and ousts you from this premises, where are you going to live?
I have no idea at the moment. We'll have to figure that out. I might have to go sleeping in my daughter's floor in her apartment. But that will be a short-lived thing, because it's not, it's not the best thing that we can do, but we have no choice.
Maybe he's bluffing, but that's pretty sad and sick. It doesn't just affect me and my wife, Leslie. It affects my family. It affects all the students that we had.
Okay, so folks, we're back here at Tiger Dragon Martial Arts Center. It is Tuesday. We did the original interview on a Thursday, and then things, they developed rapidly the very next day. Friday, Carey, you were telling me that the landlord and his daughter came to visit you, and what was that visit about?
It was actually his daughter and another man, and this man handed me this document, which tells me I have 5 days to vacate the premises, that he's going to take everything I own and sell it, and that I was in violation of 2 different things. One, that I'm living in a commercial space, and secondly, that I owe him almost $40,000, and as soon as this month clicks over, it's going to be totaled much more.
And Carey, we do have some footage of the Friday encounter, and this is how it went down, folks.
My landlord tricked me. He came in, he brought a bylaw officer, and he brought his daughter, and they've been doing nothing but belittling my wife and I. We're waiting for the police. I called the police. I tried to get them to leave. They would not leave. They would not listen to me. I was served with a garbage piece of paper, not a court order, that I must leave in 5 days. We are waiting for the police. I've called the police. They are on their way. The police actually told them to get out of the premises and wait outside for the police, which is wonderful. They seem to have disappeared. They're no longer waiting here because it's kind of a crappy day and it's kind of chilly, so they probably went to sit in a car, but they will be back, and regardless, I will wait for the police. This is the young lady right here who slandered me to my face, and she is the daughter of the owner. Okay, so the police are here, and my landlord's being belligerent as hell, as usual. So this is just a waiting game now. We got two cops out there with masks. I don't see the bylaw officer anymore. I'm not sure, but he's done his job. He's given me the paperwork. So I guess he's done his job. I guess he's not giving me a ticket. I mean, what's he going to give me a ticket for? I'm not breaking any laws. It's not like I'm open for business and he can give me a fine. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? My wife and I live here.
Okay. And have you called the police in the past
Never.
regarding this? No, it's the first
No,
time.
I've never had this kind of issue where I was confronted and almost physically confronted again, right in my face. And his daughter is worse than him. He taught her very well. What a mouth she's got on her, boy. And she insulted both me and my wife, and I've been called every name under the sun.
In the meantime, the report will be taken today.
Yes.
If for some reason, if they do it, I assume that you'll encounter them again at one point, and the police will be called again.
Well, I now have 5 days.
The report will be the report will be there.
Yeah.
Right now, we want to make sure you're safe and they're safe. Everybody's safe. So right now, you're safe. When you're calling the Landlord and Tenant Act,
Yes.
you can let them know that
There's an incident
there's a report
report.
under
Okay.
this incident.
Do I have to worry about him? Do I have to let him in at all?
If any
No, I'm not
altercation
going to.
happens-
Sorry to cut you off, but I have no plan to let him in this door. And if he tries to come in, he has a key. If he tries to come in, I understand that I'm legally okay to call the police and have him arrested for breaking and entering.
Call the police.
Yes.
Just call the police.
He says he owes you, you owe him $40,000. He says he's going to evict you. He says he's going to take possession of your belongings. Is there any legal basis for this to occur?
As far as I know, absolutely not, and he's breaking all the rules. Absolutely. I haven't got legal representation yet.
Why don't you open this letter right now and see what it says?
Rent arrears owing by Carey Stone. We advise Carey Stone as tenant under the above noted lease that you are in arrears in payment of minimum rent and additional rent in the amount of $39,487. We hereby give you notice of your default under the lease and hereby give you 5 days. Oh, I get another 5 days.
What a surprise!
Isn't that something? Notice to cure such default. I guess if I give him $40,000, this will go away, right? Failure by the tenant to cure such default within such 5-day period will result in the landlord exercising further notice, so I guess he's going to come and lock me out again, and holding you liable for all rent arrears for the future above damages as a result of the landlord losing the benefit of the lease over its expired term. So that means he's going to charge me for the next 2.5 years. As for all charges and expenses incurred on behalf by the landlord with respect to your default, including without limitation, all professional and legal fees, oh my God, this is going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. You are using the demised premises as a residential unit. Yes, you know that, sir. Said use in a breach of the lease. This shall be your notice to correct the said breach on or before the 6th. Restore the use of the premises to martial arts studio or school. Your failure to correct this will correct the said breach on or before the said date will result in the landlord exercising all its remedies under the lease, including re-entry to the premises and termination of the lease effective April 6th. So that, I guess that letter that he gave me was total garbage and total lie.
Well, you know, Carey, I told you yesterday I did reach out to Mr. Joe Lentini, the landlord. It was an interview that didn't go long and didn't go well. Take a listen.
Is this Mr. Lentini? Yes, hi there, sir. My name is David Menzies with Rebel News, and I'm doing a story on the Tiger Dragon Kung Fu studio. I was interviewing Carey and Leslie Stone, and I understand that you are the landlord, and I was wondering if I could get you on camera to tell your side of the story regarding this impending eviction.
No, I don't have to explain nothing to nobody.
Oh, actually, okay. Does that mean do you want to use the double negative there?
No, I don't need to do it, no.
Oh, okay then. Well, I'm just reaching out to you in the interest of fair comment. He's made several allegations about the condition of the property.
Say whatever he wants. He's a complainer about everything, so.
Right.
I'm not interested, thank you.
And you're a multimillionaire, is that correct?
It doesn't matter what I am. No, I'm a poor peasant just like he is.
Oh, you're a poor peasant. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Thank you.
I thought you have.
So there you go. He didn't want to discuss any of the details, and it might be irrelevant to the case, but he said he's just a poor peasant like everybody else. He denies being a multimillionaire. So obviously he's lawyering up. What is the next step here? I mean, you do not have the means to match his legal team, of course. So is it a matter of just, I don't know, it's almost like a siege or a Mexican standoff? You're just going to remain in the premises?
Now, that's a good question. If my wife and I both leave the premises, then he can lock us out, which means we'll lose everything and he'll take everything we own. And that'll be the second time in my life. So I've done this before.
The thing is, too, as we've stated in the original interview, Carey, it's not a matter of just losing a business. It's a matter of losing your home. You and your wife, Leslie, will be left homeless if you're evicted. The other complication is, I think under the lockdown rules as they stand right now, you can't have people coming into your studio to train for martial arts, correct?
Technically, yes. I have found a slight loophole, and that is that, of course, indoor gatherings, as per bylaw, is that I can have 5 people at max in my unit. I am not allowed to operate as a business, but I can train with my friends, and there you go. So I can only have a maximum of 5 people in my school.
And that's the thing, Carey. It's like you're getting hammered from both ends. You have a landlord that is hell-bent to get you out of business, to have you lose your home, and then you have City Hall putting all these restrictions on you trying to earn an income. It sounds dreadful. And this is supposedly all in the name of health, shutting down a studio that actually promotes health via physical fitness. I think it's just dreadful. My heart is breaking for you. The plus side of things, I see about more than a dozen supporters of yours. These are people that think you're getting a raw deal. They've come out on this Tuesday morning.
But the real reason we came out here today is because this is a problem that's going to be affecting all Canadians, not just him, not just isolated incidents. They're already getting, I've said it before, they're going to put us on another lockdown. Sure enough, yesterday Vancouver already went on lockdown. Hamilton went on lockdown. If you don't think Toronto and the rest are coming next, you got to wake up.
Why are they doing this, Chris? We know lockdowns don't work.
They work very well for the government if your agenda is to make people homeless and to close their business so you increase dependence on the government. That's what they're trying to do right now, David. This is all about control. People need to adjust their perception that everything that's happening is for their safety and for their own good. Everything that's happening is not for their safety, it's for control. And it's very easy to figure that out by taking any example of any of their so-called emergency orders, seeing if it makes you safer when it doesn't, and then seeing if it's about control.
Chris, back to the issue at hand. What I find especially tragic about what Carey and Leslie are going through is that you've got a landlord who I think it's safe to say doesn't have any empathy, doesn't have any compassion. I reached out to him, he hung up the phone. We have, and he wants him out. And then we have a city, probably, I call him now Deputy Mayor John Tory. I think the real mayor is Cruella de Villa, the unelected, non-accountable public health officer. They're preventing him from having a vibrant business. This used to be a great studio. It's been running for more than 7 years. It wasn't some fly-by-night startup.
Exactly.
So he is getting it on both ends, the bureaucracy and government and the landlord. I mean, Wow,
This is
it's
the
like the fight of his life.
This is the government doing this on purpose. The government is trying to turn every Canadian citizen against each other using every tactic of division. Right here, we're seeing tactics of division between the different classes, the landlord and the person who's renting from the landlord. Just like we see division between people who are on CERB and people who aren't, people who are essential and people who aren't. This is all part of the government's plan to keep Canadians divided, keep Canadians fighting amongst themselves, while the government is the one that is creating the situation that's causing the problems in the first place. If there was no lockdown, his business would be thriving, his landlord would be happy, and there would be no issues. The lockdowns caused by the government, not by COVID, are the issue. The lockdowns are far worse than the consequences of COVID.
There you have it, folks. At least Carey has a champion in his corner in the guise of Chris Guy. And Chris is right. These politicians, these bureaucrats, have divided people. And not only have they divided people, they are making people impoverished. So many people are unemployed. Thousands of businesses have failed. And again, these are the same individuals that have the...
Hundreds of thousands of businesses. Let's be clear. The CFIB report from last July 2020, already showed 150 to 225,000 businesses gone. That was July 2020. Now we're in April 2021. The report in January 2021 said we have another 200,000 to 300,000 businesses on the brink of destruction. That means at a low end, we've had 300,000 businesses close, and at a high end, we'll have up to 4 or higher 100,000 businesses close. We only have 1.15 million small businesses in the entire country. That's over 30% of our small businesses gone. That represents 70% of our jobs. These are millions of Canadians' lives that have been destroyed forever. And you're worried about COVID? Yeah. Give me a break, people.
Incredible. And we'll wrap it there. You know, the elected elites, they like to say we're all in this together. Yeah, right. I say the cure is far worse than the curse. Well, Carey, good luck. The story that we thought was going to end today or come to some kind of a resolution, it's been, punted down the field another 5 days. So we're just going to keep following this and make sure there, is some justice. And, folks, I got to tell you, tell me again how the politicians, the bureaucrats, the chief medical health officers who are shutting down and creating economic carnage. Carey was running a very successful martial arts studio. This was not some fly-by-night startup. And now look at the predicament he's in. And these same people have the audacity to say we're all in this together. They never miss a paycheck. They never miss a benefit. They never miss a vacation day. It's one law for thee and one law for me. That is John Tory's Toronto and Doug Ford's province of Ontario, and they should be ashamed of themselves. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, are you being harassed by bylaw or law enforcement in regard to these ludicrous Wuhan virus fines? Well, if so, please go to fightthefines.com. That's fightthefines.com. We'll take a look at your story. If it has merit, we will put you in touch with a top-notch criminal lawyer and crowdfund all your legal fees.